He threw the dollar like it was a joke, like I was. It fluttered down between my shoes, creased, cheap, and loud in a room that smelled of expensive wine and whispered power. My wife laughed. Not nervously, not guiltily. She laughed like she had already crossed the line. The man beside her, the one with the tailored suit and the kind of smile that buys silence, slid his arm around her waist. He looked at me and said, almost tenderly, "Don't worry, I'll take good care of her tonight." The laughter around us was muffled, embarrassed. People avoided my eyes. But I didn't look at them. I looked at the dollar bill. And I smiled. We drove home in silence that night. Correction, I drove. She left with him. I returned alone to the apartment we'd built together, her perfume still lingering, her laughter echoing in corners that used to be warm. At 2:14 a.m., the headlight swept across the window. Her silhouette stumbled to the door. The key turned, once, twice, then stopped. She knocked. Softly at first, then harder. Then she called my name. I didn't answer. I watched from the shadowed hallway, the quiet hum of the refrigerator filling the space between us. She fumbled for her phone. Her voice trembled on the third call. "Please, open the door. It's not what you think." But it was exactly what I thought. Hours earlier, I had stood among strangers while she slipped her hand into another man's. Her diamond ring had caught the light just before she took it off. That was when something inside me went still. Not anger, not heartbreak, something colder, something aware. I began collecting silence. It's amazing how much truth hides there. In her absence, I went through her phone backups, synced to the shared cloud she forgot I managed. There were messages, expensive dinners, hotel check-ins, photos of her laughing in dresses I'd never seen. I didn't confront her. I waited. The next morning, she walked in pretending nothing had happened. The smell of his cologne followed her. She poured coffee, asked about my night. I asked nothing. Later, I called a locksmith, a quiet one, no questions. The locks changed in 15 minutes. Her old keys sat on the counter, useless, shiny reminders of a trust she traded for temporary thrill. Then I visited the man. His name was Robert Hale, real estate developer, father of 2, and married. I knew his type. He saw people as assets. I went to his office with a smile and a folder. Inside were photos, screenshots, and a single legal document. He greeted me with arrogance until he saw his face reflected back from my folder. His hands on my wife, his name on every hotel receipt. You can't, already did. His company's largest client, my firm, terminated the contract within the hour. No raised voice, no threats, just paperwork and silence. I left before his wife called him. She would. I made sure of it. The next day, my wife found the locks changed. Her phone buzzed constantly as she stood outside. When I finally opened the door, I didn't let her in. She stood in the hallway wearing the same dress from last night, makeup smudged, confusion clouding her eyes. Why would you do this? Do what? Lock me out of my own house? I looked at her, really looked. The woman I married was gone. All that remained was a performance built on convenience. It's not your house anymore. She blinked, like she hadn't heard right. Her phone rang again. She ignored it. Then it rang a second time, and she answered. The voice on the other end was frantic, Robert's. I heard every word. "You didn't tell me your husband is static. You've destroyed everything. My wife's suing. My investors pulled out." Her face drained of color. Her hand shook as she lowered the phone. "What did you do?" she whispered. I stepped back, calm. "Nothing. You just introduced him to reality." She tried to push past me. I didn't move. Her keys hit the floor between us, the same sound as that dollar bill. That evening, I invited her inside. One last time. The apartment was almost empty, boxes stacked against the walls. Everything we built, gone, divided, erased. She sat at the kitchen island, eyes red, voice trembling. "We can fix this, can't we?" I poured her a glass of water, set it in front of her, didn't answer. She searched my face for warmth. There was none. "You ruined him," she said, almost accusing. "He ruined himself. You just helped." Her tears came then, ugly, desperate. She reached for my hand. I let her, for a moment. "Please," she whispered, "I made a mistake." I stood, gently removed her hand, and walked to the door. Opened it. Mistakes have consequences. She didn't move. So I looked at her one last time. The woman who thought love could be traded for comfort. "You left with a man who threw $1 at me," I said softly. "Now it's all you're worth to him." I watched her walk away through the rain. No umbrella, no destination, just the sound of heels striking the pavement in rhythm with regret. Inside, I picked up the dollar from the night before, still crumpled, still cheap. I pressed it flat against the counter and slid it under the glass, a reminder, not of her, of what silence can do when sharpened. That night I slept with the lights off and the windows open. The air was cold, clean, free. I didn't feel anger anymore, just stillness, like standing in the eye of a storm that's already passed. She taught me the difference between love and ownership, between loyalty and convenience. And as I closed my eyes, I realized I hadn't lost her, I'd released her. And the dollar on my counter was proof of what she'd traded me for, a currency she could never afford again. Final line, I smiled, knowing some debts are best collected in silence.